Devin, that brings us to Crowdfunding Corner.
Wow.
For the week of, what's today, March 19th? So it's going to be 2021, 22nd? No, that's not how math works. 21st, 2025. There are 7 games, I think, this week that I wanted to look at. There's quite a few of them. It's a busy week, so we don't have quite as much time to record as we usually do for this podcast episode, so we're going to go a little quick. So, first game here is Battle Pages. This is a single page game from, I think, the same guy that did, like, what is the other one called? It was a different one with the word battle in it. Same idea. And I think he's related to the company that does the 18 card games. What are they called? I have one right behind me. I'm just going to grab one. Button Shy. I remembered as I pulled it out. I think he was like part of Button Shy. Anyways, that was a tangent that doesn't really matter. In this game, you roll dice, and then you kind of put them on this grid. There will be enemy dice that are black, and then good dice that are a different color. You bring your own dice, since this is a print-and-play game. And the enemies will be in certain spots. The good dice will be in certain spots, and you can... I think they said it's kind of like mixing... what do they call it? A match 3 puzzle with a battle royale and some other, like, they said a whole bunch of genres up top, but you're fighting the enemies, collecting the resources. I think if you're able to get the dice to be the same number and adjacent to each other, and when you roll them, there's kind of a grid that shows you where you'll place them. Cool idea. The other one that they did was fun. I played it a few times as well. You were kind of going through these dungeon... I think it was called Dungeon Pages. There we go. Dungeon Pages to Battle Pages. The cool thing is you can get kind of their base set for $3, which gives you 4 different sheets. Or you can pledge up a little bit, and at the top pledge is $10, and they'll send you a new sheet each week for a year. So you get like new enemies, new worlds, new scenarios every week for a year, which is kind of a cool idea, especially if you like the core game. So that is Battle Pages on Kickstarter until March 29th. If you like games that are pretty simple, you print, one piece of paper, bring your own dice and a pen, and you're ready to go. Okay, next up is a big one. This company, IV Games or IV Studios, I can never remember their name, IV Studios. They make very pretty games. Devin, you've played Fractured Sky with me, the one with the magnets and the ships. This is another one of their games, and it kind of continues in the same fashion with cool looking pieces. But at the same time, they make games that don't like overstay their welcome and aren't too complex. I like that balance that they have. This one's called Scales of Fate, and it's a 2-player, like it says here, strategic deduction board game. At the beginning of the game, you'll be given 2 like character cards. I think they call them like god cards or something, and so will your opponent. And you're trying to like move them around to keep it secret which ones you're in control of, and you can score at the end of the game in 2 different ways. And so you're trying to watch what your opponent's doing to try and figure out which 2 that they are focusing on, while trying to not give away too much information as well. And where does the scoring... you're placing out these cool pieces, demigod servants, using god powers, writing down what you think is going on like this deduction piece of paper. Then at the end of the game, if you were able to get your 2 god pieces really far apart on this track, then you score the difference in points between those 2 numbers. Or if you were able to get them both on the same spot, you score the value of that space. That's a cool idea of like, it's not always the same, 2 competing like scoring agendas. I think it looks really cool. There's also a bonus game in here called Scales or Pillars of Fate, excuse me. And it's a 2-player lane battler with a little bit of deduction. I really like lane battler, so that sounds fun as well. So it's kind of like an add-on that you can also get in the same kind of world and vibe. They have the regular version, which is cardboard for most things, but still looks very pretty. Let me see if I can find the pledge levels right here. For $39, it still looks very pretty, just with the cardboard standees. And a single layer board that has holes in it, so the pieces do still nest in there. And then they have the fancy version, double layer board, wooden pieces, everything's like gold foil, very cool looking. So, I don't know. I when a game looks like this cool, it's hard for me. I need to like watch a gameplay video because I get sucked in sometimes by their cool pieces. I really like Fractured Sky, but I haven't backed some of their other games. Luckily, my neighbor really likes this studio as well, and so he's backing it, so I'll probably just play his copy, which is, just a little moochy of me, but I'm very excited to play it. It looks cool. That is Scales of Fate on Kickstarter until April 2nd. Okay, next up is a game called Artistry that has a lot of backers. I was very surprised, almost 5,000. Looks like a pretty simple game for 1 to 4 players, and it has a lot of different versions. In the game, you'll be playing these cards. I think one of the shticks of the game is it's like, I don't know, it kind of looks like, what is that English TV show? Alley?
Downtown Abbey?
Downton Abbey? Yeah, Downtown.
Downton. I don't know.
Downtown Abbey. Yep, love it. That's what the show should be.
Is that not what it is?
I think it's called Downton.
Downton? That's not a word.
It is over the ocean. Kind of has that kind of vibe to it. It's like crazy like art portraits, very pretty game, pretty pieces, and you're using cards to take pieces off of this grid of kind of Azul looking tiles, but more like rigid lines instead of rounded corners, in order to like make different patterns and score points that way. It looks pretty simple as far as how it's played, and it's a race to 20 points will end the game. Cool thing here, they have quite a few different pledge levels. You got the base level, it's $40. Still looks very pretty with these cool boards and nice bag to hold some of the pieces. Then they get kind of crazy with it. They got the deluxe version that has fancier pieces that look even more like Azul pieces and fancier bag to hold them all. And then you got the jewelry box edition. It's $200. This one comes in this cool box, and the board is transparent. Very cool.
That looks so cool.
It does look very cool. And it has like these elevated legs. Very cool bag again. I think they even have one fancier version. Oh, look at those like
wow
metal meeples. Then you got the jewelry box edition plus little artistry, which comes with like a little game for kids and families, they're calling it, like a second game. So I don't know. It's got a lot of backers. I think the art is helping here quite a bit too. And yeah, I don't know. I need to look at a gameplay video a little bit closer. I think it looks cool. I'm not a huge like Azul fan, and that's the vibe I immediately got from it. So I'll have to see if it's one I'm interested in or not. But it's on Kickstarter until April 3rd. All right. Next up is Onward, the MOBA board game. This one is for 2 to 4 players. It's a competitive game, and they were inspired by games like League of Legends and Dota 2. I have not played a MOBA video game, so I don't know a ton about them other than there are lanes and like towers and things you're taking over. You usually work in like 2 teams, but this one doesn't look like it's team-based. It's competitive for all players, but being able to kind of constrain that to about an hour is probably a pretty difficult ordeal. They also have multiple versions here. For this one, I don't know a ton about how it would play. I would imagine a similar kind of vibe with controlling lanes and towers, since it's based on MOBAs. You're drafting from heroes, it looks like. Let's I do like how some of those minis look, but the mini version is pretty pricey. So I don't know. I don't know if a board game based on a genre of video game that I don't think I'm interested in is something I would be interested in. But if you are, and like either that genre or games with lots of miniatures, then there are a couple versions here that might be for you. So that is Onward. I do want to see really quickly just what the price is for the other version. Rewards. Okay, so you got $40 for the standee edition, $90 for the standee edition with 3 like expansions. All 110 for Sky Tier players. Oh, for people who already have the Sky Tier miniatures. You must integrate with them. All in for people that already have the Sky Tier stuff, and for people that don't, it looks like it's $190 or $250. So there's a lot of stuff in there. That is Onward on Gamefound until I think also April 3rd. All right, was that the last one?
No.
I think we got 2-3 more. Cool. This one also has a lot of backers right now. Northgard Uncharted Horizons expansion. This is a 4X Viking board game, and it has new modes now, including a solo mode. I have not played Northgard before, and so I'm not going to spend very much time here on an expansion to this game. If you have played and liked this game, I imagine you kind of know what you want here. But it looks like there is more content, more miniatures, colored bases, new cards, wooden clan tokens, new map tiles, and that kind of thing for this game. So again, since we're kind of tight on time this week, I'll probably just stop it there. If you do want to get the base game as well, you can get it bundled too. So that is Northgard Uncharted Horizons on Kickstarter through April 3rd. Next up is a bit simpler of a game designed by Phil Walker Harding, who is a pretty prolific designer. In like the last 10 years, he did Sushi Go and Gizmos, and they say right here, Emotep, and he's done a ton of other games. This one's called Misfit Heroes, and it's kind of a mix between like a Earth, where you're making a grid of 4x4 of cards and trying to combo them together. But then the cards are different each game because, let me see if I can show the image here. The deck of cards will be different each time because it's 2 cards put together, a card with a background, then a transparent card with a foreground, and they're put together in a sleeve. So you make the deck and it'll be different each time you play. After the cards are all built, then you will be trying to get these heroes, and you put them in your 4x4 grid, trying to combo them together, it looks like, based on the rows and the columns a lot of times. So pretty simple game, but I do like the transparent card idea. There's a lot of games going for that right now. We've looked at a lot of campaigns lately that have had that kind of shtick. But for whatever reason, looking through a card when that didn't seem like a thing that was possible, is a fun idea. So,
yeah, it really does look way cool.
Yeah. So that one is Misfit Heroes I think it's from AEG. Yeah, and they have a really good track record as well, so you could back that one with some confidence, I would imagine, on Kickstarter till April 4th. And then I think this one is the last one. This is a 2-player primarily. You can play it with 4 players if you get 2 copies or like the expansion, I think. A 2-player, what do they call that? A abstract game where you are putting out land pieces and volcanoes and valleys and stuff like that in order to hit a victory condition cool thing about this one is there's not a board. It kind of reminds me of this game I have called Hive, where one player plays with these black pieces, the other one with white, and you're building out this like hive from these hexagon pieces, trying to completely surround the other person's queen of their hive. A lot of these games were built with like, can we make something like chess that's like elegant and you can play, and it's always different from time to time, but there are like strict rules that you play with. So similar kind of vibe here. I like how it looks, and the gameplay looks pretty simple. On your turn, you take 2 different actions, I believe, if I remember correctly, and I like how it looks with the what are they called? Volcano pieces. You can also like throw a piece from one side of your volcano to the other, so you can throw your opponent's pieces around to mess them up as well. And yeah, it looks like 1v1 is the preferred version of the game. There is an expansion that has more stuff, planes. It's like brown pieces as well. So yeah, that one is what I say it was called Landfall. Landfall, a cozy volcano island building game. If you like abstract games, I think that one is a cool idea, especially if you like games like chess or Hive, things like that. All right, Devin, we zipped through those real fast this week. Those 7 games here for Crowdfunding Corner. Which of those is going to be your pick of the week? Yeah, keep that iPad hidden from me and throw it up on the screen, and then we will all know simultaneously. Tough one?
I think it has to go to this game here, which is Scales of Fate. It looks cool. I don't know the mechanics perfectly. The pieces are sweet, and it comes with a free lane battler game.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's kind of hard to beat.
Yeah, it's not free, but
no, it's not free.
You get it like discounted, and you can get it bundled together. Oh. But it is cool that it comes with a second like game as well. And we have really liked lane battlers lately. What have we played? We played a lot of Radlands and what's
Compile.
That one? Yeah, Compile. Good memory.
Not good, but it was good right there.
Hey.
And I'm sending you
your other pick? Okay.
Yeah, I think Misfit Heroes, the art of this game, like, pulled me in, to be honest. The art of some of the characters in the game look way funny. Look at that little orc thing.
Yeah.
And the aesthetic of a game can really do it a big favor.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Artistry. The colors and time period or the era that was set in is so unique. And then they add this $200 version of a glass board with gold feet, and I'm like, oh, I need that for no reason.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Yeah, I really like this one as well. I think just so we have a third pick of the week. I'm gonna go with Battle Pages. Kind of give a shout out to a very small indie team, and I really like what they did with dungeon pages and that idea of getting like a new map once a week. Is really cool. So if it's a game that you're enjoying and having fun with, then it has quite a bit of variability that way. And you can even, there's an image here that kind of explains it. Even within each map, oh yeah, you can see here, you can trade out this left side of the map. The armies is what they're called. So you can mix and match different army sets with different maps. So even if you just get one new map, that one new map technically has however many armies worth of different versions, because you're pairing those two like sides together. So pretty good value for $10 to get 52 versions of that. I think it's a cool idea. So that's Battle Pages for me. All right, Devin, that's going to do it for Crowdfunding Corner for the week of March 21st. 2025. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for number 52, celebrating a year of podcast episodes. Thank you so much for watching this video. As most of you know, gaming top-down is an independent endeavor. I don't accept money from publishers for previews or opinion-related content, but there are a few ways that you can support the channel and help me keep the lights on. Liking this video and subscribing to the channel helps me to grow. If you're thinking of getting a game that I covered in this video, please click the affiliate link in the description of this video. It helps to support me and doesn't add any cost to your purchase. I also do a weekly gaming podcast where I talk about the board games that I'm playing along with my brother. You can check that out on Apple's podcasts and on Spotify. And you can also get that podcast 3 days early over on our Patreon. You can follow the Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers completely for free. But if you do support us over there, you get some extra perks like being able to write into the show, getting early access to the show, voting on the games that I'm going to cover and review, and lots of other fun stuff. Thanks so much for your support, for liking and commenting on my videos. You really are what helped keep the lights on for me. Thank you.